It just comes down to the fact that the world we're moving to is indicating we're going into greater instability. And look at it. Lebanon, as I've been talking about, the Middle East, particularly Lebanon, is the canary in the coal mine, because Lebanon is now bracing itself for a return to the massive demonstrations and riots which gripped the streets for much of the year. We'll talk about the black box in a minute, but if you look at the bywheel of the time of the explosion, basically set up a major, look, over the past several months, we've seen closures of the highways, the banks, the public buildings. We've seen a year-long banking crisis. We've seen this week's epic tragedy with the explosion, right? The explosion that occurred that killed over 135 people, injured thousands. There's a massive cleanup. The explosion was so powerful, it took a cruise liner that can hold over 400 people, all right, capsized it, sunk it, and killed its entire crew. So the explosion that took place looked more like a tactical micronuclear device, more so than ammonium nitrate. And I'm not an expert on explosives, but when you talk about the fact that you had an ocean liner 1,500 feet away, right, and it was pulverized and laying on its side, I mean, basically sunk in the harbor, is killing crew members on board, is very telling. It's very, very telling that there's a lot more to this story. So, again, like I said, this blast is definitely comparable to a mini nuke, and it's displaced over 300,000 people. Many have saw their entire walls of their homes ripped out, and we're dealing with a country that is plagued right now with coronavirus. It has 60 to 70% unemployment, skyrocketing inflation. The banking system is teetering on complete collapse, and we're seeing stores close for weeks prior to what's happening right now. And nothing has abated. And the anger is widespread at the government, corruption, the ineptitude, all of this. This is all just a canary in the coal mine of what's coming. What happens in Lebanon doesn't stay in Lebanon. It's going to spread. It's going to spread. I told you the Middle East is going to be one of those areas to watch. So look at this. You take the bywheel of the Republic of Lebanon, the solar arc directions, solar arc Saturn right on the ascendant. Bang, bang, right there. This is not the transits. So when you combine the transits with the fact that solar arc Saturn crossed right over the ascendant at the time of the explosion, that correlates with the breakdown of institutions, crisis in authority, crisis in government, crisis in banking, crisis in infrastructure, et cetera, et cetera. Look at this. This is the black box. Look at that. Look where we are today. Look at this new low it's going to hit. So we're talking about a complete demolition of the country. And this is going to have reverberating impact in Syria, in Israel, and other neighboring nations, including Turkey, who's somehow very involved in what's happening here. We don't know yet, but I'm hearing from different leads that Turkey's somehow playing a part of what is happening in Lebanon. And so something big's about to, but look at 2021. And in fact, it gets worse.
If you'd like to watch the full presentation and more like this on geopolitics, the economy, and world events from an archetypal and mundane astrological perspective, join the Global Transformation Astrology membership. Go to gta.williamstickevers.com or click the link in the description for twice-monthly webinars with Q&A, access to the growing library of previous webinars, and a collection of information and resources on today's most important topics, plus a monthly Ask Me Anything session for Gold members. We are now in the middle of a massive collective psycho-spiritual death-rebirth process. Stay informed and be a part of the breakthrough, not the breakdown. Become a GTA member today.